And we're back. I just started recording my video and my oven went off. But anyway, hi everyone, this is Flosstube number 12. I'm Deb from Frog Cottage Designs, and we are in the middle of the school holidays here in New South Wales, and we're also in the middle of our Australian winter. The kids went off last week to the opal mine with my husband, and he took 2, and I was home with Miss 13-year-old, which was really nice. We had a lovely quiet time. It took like 10 minutes a day to clean up, which is excellent, and the house stayed clean. But unfortunately I've had a bit of problems with my neck. Can't remember what I did to it, but it also started going down my arm, just the pain. So my stitching was very limited, but in the last couple of days, say 3 or 4 days, I've actually been able to stitch again, and I have 3 finishes, and I haven't had a finish for a couple of months, so I'm quite happy about that. So number 1 finish is month 1 of the Sewing Club by Blackbird Designs. I am part of, it's called the Sewing Club through the Cruel Goblin in Sydney, which is a cross-stitch store. Every month we get a little box. It's usually beautifully done, but I've attacked mine. And inside is your linen, your threads, all of that. So month 1 was The Air of Other Summers, which is a gorgeous little pin cushion. So I worked on this the other day, and I said to my girlfriend, I'm going to knock this over in a couple of hours because I only had this part to do. Well, 6+ hours later, I actually got a finish. So I'm quite happy to show you. And I really love all the muted colours that Blackbirds use. So much so that on the website I've put an order in for a couple of Blackbird Designs patterns, so I'm waiting for those to come through. And my wholesaler's in the States, so maybe 6 weeks we might get that. But in the meantime, I've got a lovely finish. So I'll hopefully finish that into a final once the kids go back to school next week. I'm not sure when I started that. I think I started it in May. Yeah, I think it was called April, but we received it in late, like at the end of the month. So I started that in May. My next one is a Mania finish, which is really good. And this is Spring Etchings by Cecilia Turner. And that was in the Punch, Needle and Primitive magazine. I think it was their spring issue. So again, I thought that would be a quick finish for Mania. But what are we in now? July. But I finally got a finish. And I just love it. I think it's so gorgeous. But just to show the difference in dye lots, this is Classic Colourworks Tennessee Clay, I think it's called. And this is a real pink on that one. Yet in my sewing club, which we've lost it. There it is. The brick is also Tennessee Clay, and mine is much darker. And when I put mine on Instagram, everybody was asking what colour, because they love the darker colour of the red. And I said, no, it's the same thread that everybody else is using. So it just shows the difference. Like this is pink and this is red. Look, exactly the same. But anyway, it's always the luck of the draw. So I finished that one. That was done on 28 count Monaco that was tea and coffee stained, and then I baked it. So I'll make that into a little cushion too. So that'll be cute. My next finished is another Mania start, and that's Bloom by With Thy Needle and Thread. Again, I thought this would be a quick finish just because of the blocks of colour. But alas, it took a bit longer, but I am happy with the results. and I love the colour. The it's not straight, is it? It's on 28 count cashel linen, and it was a bright, I wouldn't say bright, but it was a mint colour, and I didn't like it. And my mum picked it up at a local op shop for me. So I coffee and tea dyed it, and I like the, and then I baked it. So I'm really happy with this. And again, this one will probably be in a pillow. Haven't decided yet. If I can find something that sparks my eye to finish that. Otherwise, it'll probably be a pillow. Maybe just put it over here somewhere, but I'd like the dark red trim. And that red is Manor Red, Classic Colourworks. What was the other one? It was supposed to be mulberry, but I didn't have that colour, so used from stash. So they're my 3 finishes, which I'm quite excited about, and I'll probably actually finish those once the kids go back to school next week. Other than that, I have been doing everything by my, what do you call it, the Tiny Decisions wheel, where I've put in all my whips and I just spin it, and I started that, I think last week. Can't remember, look at my planner. Maybe a week or so ago. Oh yeah, I did. I started on the 5th of July. I used 24 hours of cross stitch weekly plan. So I just put it up here, decision wheels, and I said 2 hours per project. So I was trying to do work on more than one project. Some days I worked on 2 and some days I just worked on the 1. And that's been really good, except Spring Fling keeps coming up all the time because I didn't put the setting to stop for doubles or duplicates. So I'll show you what I worked on then. Talking about Spring Fling, we'll do him first. I love this little bunny. Oh, I just did my working copy. So that's Spring Fling, and that's by With Thy Needle and Thread. I tend to make working copies, mainly because I get things caught. See, I just ripped that then. And I stick this on a chart folder, so I don't want my charts to get wrecked, and especially with a lot of With Thy Needle and Thread, they're in colour. So if I use them all the time, I get the, what would you call it? The crease marks in it, and the colour lifts off. So I want to keep my patterns nice. So let's see. So this is done on a 16 count. I think it's a plush or a bashful pink. Where did I go? And yes, I know I say a lot of ums. I really try not to, but it's my internal thinking. So what I've done here is I've tried to outline. As you can see here, I've done a bit of outline just so I can do that mindless stitching, just filling it in. So hopefully if I get this one on the decision wheel a few more times, I'll just keep doing it, because once the bunny's done, these little flowers don't take much time at all. So hopefully we'll have another finish in the next 2 weeks. Don't hold me to that. Another one, oops, I keep getting caught. My lovely cow crocheted. It's called a cow, it's crocheted. My girlfriend makes them. She's called Forever and Always, and she posts on Instagram, and I'm waiting. The other day I saw, she put a post up, sorry, and she was crocheting a mustard colour, and I just loved it. So of course, in her prime, I said, oh, I want that one. And that one was already, she was doing that for an order. So I only have to wait a week, and maybe next time I'll have a nice mustard one. It's nice when your girlfriends are creative. But she is Forever and Always, and I'll put her down the bottom if you want to check her out. Next spin we had was Tied Trio by Plum Street Samplers. Love these little guys, they're so cute. But again, if I just did the trunk, worked on the trunk, hopefully the rest won't take too long. But this is a couple of hours stitching, and this was a mania start too. So that's all I got up to on that. And that's an ice blue Lugana, 28 count, that one. Yeah. One thing I do miss is not getting my 1, 2, 3 stitch packages quickly. If anyone knows of any Aussie designers that actually do the hand dyed linen or Lugana or even weave, just message me below, because I'd like to not have to wait weeks and weeks and weeks to actually get some more haul. And that's one of the reasons why I started, well, I didn't start Frog Cottage Designs on that. I actually added another section to my website because I have, on the website's nature-based handmade toys for kids, like scavenger hunts, story stones. What else do we have? I have little peg dolls of superheroes and princesses, tic-tac-toe. What's the best seller on that one is the ants and the bees, tic-tac-toe. So I just thought, you know, I can't get what I want. And a lot of the stores only had 1 or 2 of things like Little House Needlework or Country Cottage Needleworks. And at the time when I got back into cross-stitching, I was watching The Real Housewives, Stitching with the Housewives. And a lot of their designs I couldn't find in the Australian stores. The Australian stores mainly had all samplers, or if, as I said, if they had the designer, they only had 1 or 2. So I actually discussed it with my husband, and I opened up the cross-stitch section of my website. So I have all the patterns and weeks dye work and classic colour work. So I don't have all of those, but if I buy a pattern in, I try and make sure that I have the thread to match that, but not the, what do you call it, the gentle arts, because I'd have to go to another supplier for that. But at the moment, trying to get things from the States with COVID this year, normally I get an order, a package once a month, but I've only had 1, maybe 2 this year, and I'm still waiting on a 3rd. Just when I'm out of stock, just tried to replenish. So if you are ordering from the website or you see things are out of stock, just bear with me or let me know, and I can try and track that or get that sent a bit earlier. But I don't think it, yeah, once saying that, I don't think it will help. We'll just have to manage the best we can, I suppose. I know there's not a lot of flights for postage for the States, and a lot of my parcels sit at, I think it's Los Angeles or something, for weeks. So unless they've got a load to go through and their quarantine or whatever it is that they do, they're checking, it's extremely slow, and that's where a lot of the hold up is. But anyway, I'm not sure if I said on this one or earlier, I'm waiting on my 1, 2, 3 stitch pattern, not pattern, my haul, and it's full of gentle art threads. And it was in Los Angeles for about 3 or 4 weeks. This morning I look and it's just left Tokyo. So unless the flights go Los Angeles, Tokyo, Sydney, I'm really not sure, but unless it's just been thrown in the wrong bin. So I'm not sure how long that will be till I can get that. But I do have plenty to stitch. But yeah, so I'll get on with my whips because I'm rambling. So what else did we work on? Ida May Crow. I don't have the picture. I did have. I don't know what I did with it. So I'll quickly flash it so you know what my little crow will look like. And this is lovely because it's all in golds and mustards, her dress and everything. So, and it would look nice on Murky. This is 20, no it's not, it's 32 count Murky Lugana. So this was a mania start, and what I had done is I had finished the border by the end of May, but when I looked at it, I used 2 threads and I just thought it was too bulky. So I pulled all that out and I've only done 1 thread, and I'm really happy with this. So this progress, I think I spent 2 days. So that's 2 days, not stitching for 2 days, but that was my project to work on. If I had time, I'd pick it up. And then I put it down to go and do something. And I thought, when I walked past, I thought, oh, I can smell passion fruit. I thought, oh, my cup of tea is strong. And when I went over, because I have it in a thermos thing, when I went over, I had spilt it all over. So I quickly rinsed it, and I was worried about the cream, but it hasn't affected it at all. So that's really good. So I really love this design. So hopefully this gets spun on my wheel quite often for a finish. Just reminds me of the Barbara Anna, the light, and the key designs. Just that nice little animal in a dress, I suppose. Another one that I spun was Gone Batty. This is one, so I do copy I have working copies, but this one I just haven't put my original pattern away as yet, but that's Gone Batty. I love these series. So cute. So on this one's on, I think it's a 28 count sand Lugana, and that's where I'm up to. So I've actually done, I already had the bird, the bat, and below the little collar here. So I've put in this, what do you call that? The flower. And I thought this little one here, it's a bat, but he's holding a candy corn. But, you know, I don't really look closely at the pattern, but I thought it was a little crow. So, but anyway, so that's where I got up to on that one. And I think I spun that twice, so I got a little bit of time on that. And I don't care if it spins twice. So long as I work on them and I touch them once, then I'd be happy. And the last thing I worked on, this one's a bit full. Keep all my witches in this one. I'll pull them out so you can see. These are all my witches. Because I love all Brenda's little witches. So my boo, bobbing for pumpkin, sorry. I think I said a couple of videos ago, I went to actually finish it and I'd realised that I hadn't stitched the bottom. And so I threw it in here, but then I was out of Oscar, Weeks Dye Work Oscar, and I didn't want to unpick it and just do it in DMC. So I've waited. I finally got it, but I just forgot because I put it in there. It was only yesterday when I was working on this that I thought, oops, I better do that too. So this one I spun, just pick it up, is Witch's Night Out. And I don't have working copies on this one. I actually have it on my iPad and I've taken pictures of it on the Good Notes and I can zoom it up and I can actually highlight the section. So I find that really good. And a lot of my patterns, if I'd already had a working copy, I didn't worry about it. But any of my new starts, that's what I do. I carry it all in, my daughter's iPad. I asked her to borrow because when I went to download on my iPad, my version was too old. So she wasn't using hers, so Mummy's still borrowing. Yeah, so Witch's Night Out. And what I've been working on, whoops, just got thread everywhere. Oops, now I've got needles. Is here. So I've been working on the cauldron. I probably did about 5 rows yesterday. So it wasn't much stitching, but at least it's something. This is done on 28 count Monaco that I tea and coffee dyed. And I just love it. For all these witchy things, it's a nice fabric to use. And it's lovely and soft. It's not like, I bought some Monaco from Fat Quarter Shop and theirs is quite stiff. But this one, I bought this one in Australia and it's lovely and soft. And that was from Sew It All in Port Macquarie for anyone wanting to look for some fabric. So that's all that I actually worked on. All my sewing. So for 3 weeks, that's a little bit sad, but I've actually been a little bit addicted to a new series on Netflix. It's an Asian series, so there's 50-something episodes. And in my defense, it's a bit hard to stitch, watch, and read. So normally I just, glance up, listen, and keep stitching. But when I have to read, it slows my stitching down. But I love it. My dad brought us up on, he used to like all the samurai, what's his name, Bruce Lee, those type movies. So we sort of grew up on subtitles. So I'm quite happy and I love it. And just something I used to do with my dad. So I am enjoying it. But I haven't even got any haul. How rude is that? I think the last Flosstube I showed you month 3 of my sewing club. So month 4 is coming out being posted this week. All I have is Project Quarantine with our needle and thread. I've been waiting ages, like that came out when COVID started, and I really love the design. It wasn't at my wholesaler, but I found a store that up the coast called Linen and Threads, which a lot of people might be doing the Linen and Thread stitch along. So I got that store to actually buy it in. And when they did, I had ordered 2 copies, one for me and one for my girlfriend, for it to be kitted up. And unfortunately, they only sent me one. So I wasn't ready to stitch it. So I said, look, I'm happy. And she had no more. So I said, I'm quite happy to wait for the next shipment to come. And otherwise, if I got it, I probably would have stopped everything to stitch it. But I got the linen, which is just I think it's 32 count. It might be 36. I haven't got the pattern to have a look, but it's just a natural linen. And she also kitted up the thread. She sent me the DMC, but yeah, I probably already had that. So I love this blue and is it grey? No, the blues. Oh, that looks quite orange, but it's not. It's chili pepper. It's more red, more a dark red. So that's ready for when that pattern finally arrives. But I would like to get some more whips finished. I think mainly because a lot of the things I did have ready to kit for Mania weren't little, so I don't really want to start more big things and have 20-30 big things to finish. So I'll try and get my whips down. I think I had over 20 odds, or maybe in the late 20s, can't remember, which is a good thing. So what I was thinking, I was watching Michelle McGraw by Made with Michelle McGraw, and she mentioned Sampler September, where stitchers will work on samplers, and I don't have any samplers, but I thought, I might do Stitchalong September. So for the month of September, I might just work on all my Stitchalongs, which probably need it, and they aren't small. I've got the Linen and Thread Stitchalong. I think I'm still doing April or May, so I'm a couple of months behind there. I've got my Universal Monster, which only has 4 rooms to finish. I have my Chopping Mall, which has 8 rooms to finish. And I have my Letters from Hogwarts sale, which is quite big, and I'm still on chapter 1 for that, and they just released chapter 4 the other day. So I'd really like to get caught up on those. I also have the Stitch Along with Chrissy Stitches, which is Quaker de Noel by Jardin Privy, which I put away to June just to give everything else a bit of... Did I put away for June? No, I put away for July because I thought I'd pull that out again for Jolly July, but I didn't get that done. So I think September's looking good to do catch-ups on all my Stitchalongs, but now I'm just thinking of that. October's next, so Halloween. So maybe for August, maybe I'll just concentrate on all my Halloween stuff. Although Halloween's not big here in Australia, in about an hour and a half, 90 minutes from us. They actually, in a place called Lithgow, they close the streets and just have rides and activities, and everybody dresses up in Halloween, and the kids loved it last year, so we'll probably go back and do that. And they can trick or treat in all the shops or all the stalls, so the kids are over the moon on that. So yeah, I'll have to start thinking about that. I have maybe 6 Halloween things in my whips that probably need to be finished, so we'll see. But other than that, I did do, sorry I'm rambling, I know, I did do a free stitchery for Be Well and Stitch when COVID first started, and that's still on my website, and I'll leave that below. Mine was 2 vines, 2 bunnies holding little heart balloons, and it said Be Well and Stitch. So I thought for Jolly July, I know July's half over, but last week I thought I should do a free stitchery for Jolly July. So this is my draft. So it's the same vine as my other one. And it's just, I was going to call it Aussie Christmas. So this will be free, but I haven't finished yet. I'm not 100% happy on the font. I think the font should be a bit thicker, maybe. It looks all right close up, but when I turn around, to me that font is a bit skinny. So I'll have a look at that, or I might just change the font altogether. But I probably won't work on that now till the kids go back to school. So hopefully next Flosstube I might just release that as a free pattern, and that will be on my website. So I think that's it. The only other thing I've put here, since I finished my sewing club on Blackbird Designs, my only start, and I'm only letting myself start these projects from the sewing club so I can catch up, is month 2, which is this one. And that's called In Your Garden. So that's already here. Here is the nice little Weeks Dye Works gingham tin roof, that's called. And then you get the other bits for it as well. I think I showed this on the last one. You get all your thread on a nice little thread keep. And it's probably the wrong way. And you get a little personalised little button. So there's a little D for Deb. So that's what I am hoping to start, and I might start that on the weekend. Just because the other one I've just paid for month 4 and I'll be in the post soon. So I just think I should get my butt into gear and get that done. So that's all from me for this Flosstube. Hope everyone is well where you are and the restrictions aren't too tight for you. We're doing okay here. We're quite isolated anyway. We're in rural, so we're okay, but doesn't mean other people aren't. So sending out big virtual hugs to everybody, and hoping that you're all safe. But other than that, happy stitching, guys, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.